Today we worked on lasso from the bottom. We were working on passing it before, so it's good to see what goes into it from the bottom side. So lasso is where you have a sleeve grip and then you loop your foot over your opponent's same side arm and then tuck your foot into his armpit. So the key is the deeper you go in, the more secure it is, and you also want to have it vertical. So it's sort of like a combination knee shield, because your knee is protecting you, and but then also your foot can drop to the hip if he's pushing in. So that's like additional protection. So first one was a simple sweep. You have the lasso in, and then you plant your opposite foot on the ground and you sweep in the direction of the lasso. Your foot has to be deep enough to create leverage. So your foot sort of curves around the side and your toes are sort of hooking his back. If it's too shallow, you're not going to get any leverage. Your foot will twist and his body won't go with it. So this is pretty rudimentary. It's really hard to get if they just sort of put their body weight in the opposite direction. They just lean in the opposite direction. It's kind of hard to hit unless you have a massive strength advantage. So you need to catch them not paying attention, or it sets up for the next move, which is if they do lean, or if they go up on their knee in the direction that you're trying to sweep, to stop you from doing the move, then you take your opposite foot and you put it on their knee, the knee that's still on the ground, so the knee on the other side of the lasso. You put your foot on that knee, push it while pulling on that sleeve, and so you just sweep the other direction. So that was like really easy. It's like no effort at all. And then the next two techniques were, what if he sees what you're doing? So you get the lasso in, he sees what you're doing, and then he steps over your non-lasso leg. So you're kind of like in a half guard with the lasso. It was actually cool. In the live rolls, I found myself in half guard, and then I grabbed his sleeve and put myself into this position. So that was pretty cool. That you can enter from half guard also.
That was jumble time.
So the first move out of this is shoot, I don't remember what it was. Let's do the fourth one first. So this one is like a pendulum arm drag. So I do remember. This is actually really good also. So you need to just two points are key for the third technique. When they come over your free foot into half guard, you need to hook your bottom leg. So same thing as if in your regular half guard, you need to really hook that leg, and then you push your lasso leg through as deep as you can. Your knee has to be through his armpit on the other side. And I found that this actually loads his body weight on your leg, and then you can sweep from there. I forgot what direction it is, but it felt very natural. So you just shove it in. I think it's to the lasso side. So you shoving it through and just using the weight of your leg brings him forward, and then you can pull his opposite sleeve all the way around to complete the sweep. And then the fourth one is, if he sees you doing this, so he leans back so you can't push your leg through. Then you take your lasso out and pendulum it to the ground, and then you have the same sleeve. So on the lasso arm, you have the wrist grip. So you pull that, and with the opposite arm, you grab the elbow and you do an arm drag. So you take the lasso out, pendulum it to the ground to bring your upper body up off the ground and closer to his body. You already have the sleeve grip on that same side. So you pull with that, and you reach up with the opposite arm, grab that same elbow. So that same elbow with the wrist you're pulling, and you pull across your body. So you don't want to pull it into you. You don't want to load him up on top of you. You're pulling him across your body, and the goal is to get to his back, either get behind him or to take him to his back. So either way, you need to get your chest to his back, and then if you want to get behind him, you just keep climbing up. If you want to take his back, you get like a seatbelt, hang off him, pull him to the ground, and then get your hooks in. So very neat, and I think it helped me with my open guard a lot. So one thing that I noticed is that before the last week or so, I wasn't comfortable with open guard at all. Therefore, I was like trying to close the distance or get grips as quickly as possible, but I wouldn't know what to do with grips, so I just use those grips to like get closer, which is like a very beginner sort of mindset. It's like kind of what I was doing in the first month or so when I started training. It's like when in doubt, just like hug the opponent. But now, either through the motion, so distance control by just moving my body around, or getting sleeve grips and controlling distance that way, it's just made me a lot more comfortable with the distance. And I think this will allow me to control the tempo. Even in rolls now, I'm much more comfortable, and I'm looking for opportunities to create distance where before it was like if I'm in half guard, I'm like trying to crunch myself as close in as possible in order to like attempt a really bad sweep. Now I'm like, I can just reset, get into a position where I'm comfortable. I can sort of rest or whatever, or like reset. I'm controlling the tempo. So that made me feel a lot more comfortable. I mean, this is also kind of training. I don't know how much of it is like we're just sort of flow rolling and the tempo's slow anyway, versus that I'm actually slowing the tempo down. So I'm unsure about that, but I definitely feel more confident in trying that. And so we'll find out what the reality is sooner or later. So also, I'm doing a comp tomorrow, so hopefully all this stuff stays in my mind. It's not like information overload, and put all this to use.